All right. So right now it's 4 o'clock, and I've been up since 3:30. Had a chance to take a shower, get my hair done, and I like to get dressed right away in the morning. That way, I'm completely ready to go right off the bat. I don't know where the mic on here is, so I'm actually just filming off my tablet here. I'm gonna have to get an audio splitter so that way I can actually hook up a mic to it. One of my things I hate is having bad audio, and every now and again I make a video that has bad audio, but the quality of the information was so good I don't want to get rid of it. But anyways, I've been up since 3:30, and polyphasic sleeping is like has been kicked in 100%. So as soon as I actually didn't even let an alarm wake me up today, because weekends I actually let myself sleep in half hour, so I wake up at 4. Today I woke up at 3:15, all on my own, internal alarm clock, and I was fresh. Surprisingly, no grogginess, no sleepiness, none of that stuff, and like I'm up and ready to go. Like after this talk here, I'm gonna go do a little tidying, and then I'm gonna go and start working out and do a little bit of my project work there, and yeah. So what is this polyphasic sleeping? Okay, I spent a whole, you know, not a long period, probably like 3 4 months doing in-depth research on sleep and uh, and polyphasic sleeping, and then making comparisons between the two. So if you actually want to look at the science of sleep, everybody advocates getting a lot of sleep. An interesting fact is if you get more than 8 hours sleep, your mortality, the more by statistics, mortality rate actually is higher. So the chances of you dying from oversleep is higher than people that undersleep. So there's a couple reasons why that could be. By statistics, is either a people are that are sick and already dying require more sleep, so that increases that statistic. So that's a possibility, right? But people that are getting less than 5 hours of sleep, then it begins to increase too. But it still doesn't increase as much as people that are oversleeping. So that's an interesting fact. Okay, but sleep obviously is important. There's some mental pruning. So for your memory and for learning new information, you need that sleep, because in your sleep, your brain will actually start pruning information that it doesn't need, and actually start reinforcing pathways to the things that you do need and you do use, and making your obviously your intellect stronger, right? Your knowledge base, your neurons and stuff like that in your brain fire better in the pathways that you're using. Okay, so that's another thing with polyphasic sleeping, is you're not getting that much sleep, because that's why there's a lot of people that don't really understand the not sleeping thing. Um, in terms of performance, okay, physical performance does not go down when you're tired. It's the connection between psychological thinking and the body that goes down. So your ability to for cognitive function lowers when you're getting less sleep. Okay, so that's another thing you need to be aware of when you're sleeping less. Okay, so right now I'm giving all the things that standard research is put out there about sleep. Okay, so yeah, so you need your sleep, and then obviously your hormones are regulated. Bodily recovery happens in your sleep. So that's an important thing when you're doing when you're sleeping your designated 8 hours is what they say. Okay, so uh, so what about polyphasic sleeping then? So polyphasic sleeping, for you guys that are not aware of what polyphasic sleeping is when you are reducing your sleep. It's been done a lot throughout history. A lot of people that are working on big projects, Like people that have productive goals like to sleep less because they have things to do, right? And it's not unusual. It's actually very common in history. So if you actually look at polyphasic sleeping, the natural order of sleep was not one consistent sleep. Um, so a lot of times in history, before there was lights that would disturb sleep, tablets and all these artificial lights that actually disturb our sleep, people would have this natural circadian rhythm of sleep. And a lot of times they would sleep, get into a deep sleep, they would wake up to either go write a book or whatever, or jot down some notes that they just thought of actually just within their sleep or whatever. They woke up, had an idea, went and started working on the project, or actually to just eat or have sex. And that was actually very common back in the day, before all the artificial lighting. So in terms of polyphasic sleeping, people used to actually sleep in chunks. If you actually think about it, babies naturally come out, they are polyphasic sleeping. Okay, I had to adjust my polyphasic sleep because we have a new addition, right? So for the longest time, we've had a crying baby, and I actually reversed my polyphasic sleeping to stay up later, and yeah. So now I get up earlier because now there's more of a sleep cycle. I enjoy the early as opposed to the late. But anyways, going back to the polyphasic sleeping, it's actually very natural, a natural human state to be polyphasic sleeping. Not all, you know, like tribes and stuff like that. Even modern, there's still tribes out there in the Amazon that I went to do some research on. Some of them actually still do polyphasic sleeping. Not all of them do, so it's not across the board with humans, but it's not unusual for humans to polyphasic sleep. So what it is it reduces the time, and it's been done throughout history with a lot of big names. I've always, when I first started looking into polyphasic sleeping, I looked at Nikola Tesla, who was actually known for practically never sleeping at all. There is a method where you're only sleeping in 30-minute increments at a time, really whenever you want, and you reduce your time within 24 hours. Some people have gone reportedly as low as 1 to 2 hours, which is within the 24 hours, which is crazy, reportedly. So this was, like, again, Nikola Tesla has been known to practically never sleep at all. So that's a very interesting thing that got me into looking at polyphasic sleeping. And I found out there are modern day people that are sleeping a lot less. For instance, Tony Robbins sleeps about 3 hours. David Goggins trains intensely, right? Former Navy SEAL, sleeps 3 hours and still trains like a monster, right? So I was curious, like, because I wanted to increase my productivity. It feels like when you actually have a project there, you never have enough time to do anything, especially if you have a family, you got kids to run right now. So now I polyphasic sleep, like yesterday, because it's the weekend. I was able to get my workout in, everything done. I normally don't shut down my work early, but yesterday the wife came down. She's like, "Oh, it's a weekend, you've already been down here for 4 hours. Why don't you come spend time with the family?" So the rest of the day I was just with the family, and I didn't have to get a workout in. It was done. I would love to have gotten more work in, but I already got work in, so it was sufficiently done. So really, the rest of the day I just spent it with my family. So the thing about polyphasic sleeping is you're reducing your time. Okay, so I think a lot of the questions are going to be, well, how do you do it? Okay, so when I first started, I started doing the research. A lot of things that I do seem crazy. I go outside in the cold weather. If you haven't seen my videos, I get into an ice bucket in cold weather. I've run in a muscle shirt in minus 20 degrees weather, and in minus 30, I just have a long sleeve shirt. I'm in shorts, stuff like that, and I fast. Right, so right now I'm taking a little bit of time off work because I have a new addition to the family. But I fast when I'm working. I fast 20 hours a day because I don't pack a lunch. Okay, I also run to work. I don't eat lunch, and I run back home from work, equaling over 11 kilometers. So it's about 5.6 kilometers there, and then obviously 5.6 kilometers back. And then that's running fasted to work. And sometimes I actually, because my work has a gym there, sometimes I'll work out at work because I'm not eating lunch anyways. And yeah, and so I'm doing all this stuff, and people think I'm nuts, I'm crazy, right? But once you understand the principles behind it, it's not really crazy because you know how you're understanding how it works. So I lost my train of thought, but so how is polyphasic sleeping done, right? So it's not crazy. It's not. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I don't do anything that is detrimental to me. I might experiment to the point. Some things I have tried, and I was a little bit, maybe I have had a little bit of anxiety to do it, and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, well, do I know how to correct it if something goes wrong? Do I know how to fix this? Then I'll attempt it. Okay, so but there's nothing that I would do to jeopardize myself in terms of health. I would experiment, but I would do the research, make sure I understand what I'm getting myself into, and then I would go and put myself into it. One of the big questions is, has it been done, and has it been done safely? So then I'll find out that who's doing that thing that I want to do and has completed it safely, and I would find that method that they're using. Okay, so my fasting, there's people that have fasted an entire year, no joke, look it up, and with no health repercussions. Okay, so with that, there's a green light. Okay, fasting is not a starvation if you understand how to do it. Okay, drinking oils. Okay, heavy training. Has somebody done it? Yes. How? Can you prep the body for it? Yes, you can. How did that person do it? Okay, let's take a look. Right. And again, with polyphasic sleeping, same routine to figure, should I do this, should I not? So I'm just going to say right now, polyphasic sleeping, there is no health benefits, okay, to polyphasic sleeping. So don't think you're going to get healthy by polyphasic sleeping and sleeping less. It's a productivity thing. Can you offset the lack of sleep disadvantages in polyphasic sleeping? Yes, you can. Okay. I am not a scientist in terms of polyphasic sleeping. Okay, so but will you still depreciate health from the negative effects of not sleeping? Possibly, but you can minimize it, right? So that's the thing. But I believe that with polyphasic sleeping, you can actually keep it at a baseline. Why? Because you need to do health improving things to have the energy to polyphasic sleep. For instance, when you're polyphasic sleeping, alcohol will disturb your sleep. You have to remove alcohol, otherwise you're not gonna be able to do this. Okay, or it's gonna be very difficult. Anybody that I've read about polyphasic sleeping, as soon as they added one day of going out on New Year's Eve, it screwed them up. Okay, and they had to reset and do it again. It's exactly like the ketogenic diet. Okay, yes, it's a fad diet, blah blah blah. It works. Okay, so I do keto to make polyphasic sleeping work. Okay, because energy levels are smooth. There's no crash. There's no burn. There's no overstimulating. Okay, so you got to cut out carbohydrates. Now you don't have to do ketogenic diet to polyphasic sleep, but you do have to cut out stimulating carbohydrates. So high sugars and stuff like that is going to disturb your sleep. Okay, so that's another thing. Okay, so what are you doing every day that is going to mess up your sleep? So I'm using basic common sense principles for sleep that any sleep professional will tell you to do, as they tell you to get your 8 hours of sleep, right? So they're going to tell you not to take things that are stimulate you before bed. Turn down your lights so that way you can get your circadian rhythm, right? Stuff like that. So I'm doing all these good practices and reducing my sleep. So how do you do polyphasic sleeping? Because it's a hard thing to do, okay? So once you get everything in order, again, you can't drink, you got to eat clean, okay? And for a fitness individual, that might be easy anyways. For somebody that loves partying and whatever, maybe that'll be hard for them to give up. For me, not so much. I really don't give a I don't care about that. Okay, I care about high productivity, high fitness, and yes, I'm gonna say I'm 90%, 85, 80. I'll say give it 80, 89%, 80 to 90% on par with eating clean and stuff like that. Am I always? No. Sometimes I kick myself out of keto. Sometimes I kick myself out of polyphasic sleeping. Okay, but for the most part, I don't care. I don't need that. Okay, so again, so how do you do it? You're gonna go and reduce your sleep. You need a set time when you're practicing polyphasic sleeping. You have to know your lights out. So when you're going to bed, and you set up your core sleep. Your core sleep is about, depends on where you're starting. An easy place to start with your core sleep is going to be 3.5 hours. I haven't changed it from there, right? My total sleep for the day, that's all day, 24 hours, is 5 hours or less. Okay. Yeah, so 5 hours or less. And my core sleep is 3 hours. Okay, 3.5 hours is my core sleep. And yeah, so you want to set up your core sleep, and you're gonna sleep at that core sleep all the time. At first, it might be easy, right? You're waking up early. It's almost like, oh, you starting a new job and you're waking up really early. The first day at work, not a problem. Second day, not a problem, right? And then eventually it starts kicking in. You're like, oh, I'm getting tired, right? So then what do? You go and sleep earlier. But when you're practicing polyphasic sleeping, you don't sleep earlier. You hold that duration until you're extremely tired. Okay. If you're doing everything else right, that extremely tired is minimized. You're not as tired when your nutrition's on par, when you're following good sleep principles. Then you're not going to be as tired. But nonetheless, you will get tired, and you'll get to a point where you're going to hit this wall, and it's going to be hard to wake up even to your alarm clock. And when I first started polyphasic sleeping, I set like 3, 4, 5 alarms. I had like 2 on my watch and 2 on this tablet. So that way, like I would sleep, and then the next one would come up 5 minutes later, because sometimes I would wake up, and you ever had that sleep where you're so tired you didn't even know you turned off your alarm clock? Like, you're certain you set it, but you woke up and you're like, man, I missed the alarm clock. Did I set it? Or you knew you set it. Yeah, so that does happen. It happens for real. I'll miss an alarm, and then the second alarm will come off and wake me up. So then you got to do this, and then you got to get to the point where the sleep gets really crappy. And then after it gets crappy, you keep doing it. Oh yes, this is the part. You need to get your naps. Okay, so my core sleep is 3.5 hours, and then I'll do a half-hour nap, right? And then 2 15-minute naps. Okay, so and when you're first starting, you won't be able to fall asleep on your nap. You're just gonna lay there with your eyes closed. It helps. Okay, so then with that said, eventually when you go lay down and you close your eyes, 2 minutes, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, you are going to be out when you keep doing this, right? You're just lights out, and you sleep for 30 minutes, and you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm so fresh, right? And then you go and do your day. All you need is 30 minutes, and you're like, you recover, and you're fresh, right? Eventually you're gonna do that 15-minute nap, and you're gonna wake up, and you're gonna be fresh, right? That grogginess over time goes away. Like I said, today I woke up I didn't even wake up at 3:30. I woke up at 3:15. Automatic clock. I woke up and I was actually feeling fresh. So that's one of the things, is you want to keep doing that until your body says, man, you're so tired. And it just puts you right out into REM. Once you start hitting REM super quick, then you're going to end up feeling fresh just for that little bit of sleep. Okay, so there's a lot of details. I mean, I would recommend, don't just take my word. And this is what I always say: just because I'm doing something like, say, I'm drinking oils, you got to understand it. Drinking oils can be very detrimental to your health if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. So I know I have a YouTube video of it about drinking oils and how it's detrimental to your health and why I would do it. So it kind of gives an idea. But anyways, long story short, if you're drinking oils and you have carbohydrates in there, that's where it's detrimental. If you're drinking oils and there's no carbs, then it's good for you. Okay, so that's the same thing. You need to understand what you're doing and what's going on. If you don't understand it, then yeah, you can cause a lot of damage. Okay, so I might be telling you how to polyphasic sleep here, but I would recommend taking the time to go and study and research it more. Okay, so so it works. Other people are doing it, right? I make it. When I first started, I used to make an adrenal shake. Your adrenal gland is actually what provides energy for you. So if you learn about that, then you can also see how your body actually produces energy. Okay, so when you make an adrenal shake, you're giving your body the nutrients it needs to produce energy. Okay, so that's a whole different story. But I'm saying that because there's a lot of additional steps to make polyphasic sleeping work. It's not just just staying up. For instance, if you're staying up and your circadian rhythm wasn't good, your nutrition was off par, but I was just saying stay up, you're probably going to hurt yourself. Okay, so you need to have a greater understanding to do it, right? And don't have this victim mentality where, oh, fasting is gonna kill you and you're starving yourself. That's victim mentality. The reason why I say that is because it's a fear mentality. It's a lack of understanding that creates ignorance. So there's so much people that will say, you're nuts, you're crazy, doesn't work. How do you know it doesn't work? Have you done it? Have you researched it? No. So make sure you understand what you're doing, and then just do it. Okay. So not everybody wants to polyphasic sleep. Just like not everybody wants to go on a clean eating plan, right? So do whatever you want, but make sure whatever it is you're doing, if you're trying to figure something out, make sure that you understand it. Okay, so that's a big thing. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna leave this. One of the reasons why I know this polyphasic sleeping is a big deal. It's not really big mainstream yet, but if you actually look at okay, so DARPA, it's a military research facility, and they are actually trying to create a 24/7 soldier. Okay, so in the battlefield, that would be amazing to have, right? So if they are trying to figure out how to run a body efficiently, high productivity, 24/7 in a combat situation, that would be a huge advantage, right? So if they believe that is possible, then that says to me that this is possible. They're just trying to figure out how to do it, right? So yeah, but obviously, even with polyphasic sleeping, it's not 24/7. But if people are trying to figure out how to do it, then that means that there's potential capabilities. That's what it says to me. Okay, which is really cool. But in terms of, let's put it into an entrepreneur. If you had a 24/7 entrepreneur, what kind of edge would you get? Okay, 24/7 author, 24/7 whatever, athlete training when every other athlete is sleeping, with high performing efficiency. What kind of edge would you get? Right. So to me, that's really cool. Right. But again, polyphasic sleeping is not 24/7. If you miss your naps, you will be tired. Okay. So that's the crappy thing. Right. So you need to, if you're staying up and you're only getting 3, 4, 5 hours max on your sleeps every single day, you miss a nap, which is already added into that 4 or 5 hours. It's not 5 hours with naps. That naps is already fit in there. If you're missing that, then you're going to be tired. Okay, so anyways, that's my update on polyphasic sleeping. And yeah, so I guess I got a lot of other stuff to do before. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Let's take a look. It's only 4:30. Did a whole talk, and I still got a crap load of time. So, all right, Polyphasic sleeping. All right, see you later, guys. You guys got any questions? You know, I got my YouTube channel. Go check out my YouTube channel, right? The video, Monkey Warrior right now here. Just click on my group page. Go in there, find a YouTube video, and then click on it. Go to my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe it. And you guys got questions, I will post up a video about it. If I can answer it, if I can't, I'll find out. I love researching, man. That's my thing. So you guys have questions, let me know. In terms of health and fitness, that's my area, okay? So there we go. All right, see you later.